Hello out there. How are you doing today? And I am your graceful ager. Today I have a privilege to bring on a wonderful friend of mine who is not only beautiful on the outside, but also on the inside in helping women how to speak. And I thought I would bring her on because it's very cleansing to be able to relate the story, whether in this verbally or in the written. And I thought the best woman that's going to bring that to life for your understanding is Lisa Reed, expert speaker, uh, one of the women that I admire in my community. So, Lisa, I'm so
Hi.
glad you're here. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here and just have this beautiful conversation with you, Grace. And I'm Lisa Reed. I'm the founder of Get Speaking Gigs Now. And believe it or not, I have had a few clients who specialize in grief and the grieving process. And so when you told me the topic today, I said, yes, this is needed. We need to talk more about it. And I'm excited to dive into our conversation today. Also, I'm the CEO of the International Speaker Network. So I like to create a soul-filled community of people who want to share their message. And it doesn't matter what topic it is. It could be any topic. But just if you have that desire to share your message, that's a safe community for people to learn about, speaking and what that's all about.
I've always admired your ability to just be able to speak so well and make people feel. Other women say the same thing about you in our community. They feel
Aw.
comfortable with you. So, how did you get into coaching or I guess speaking?
Well, speaking technically, I officially knew that I was interested in speaking when I was in college. My bachelor's and master's degree happened to be in speech communication. I tell people, sometimes I hesitate sharing that because people might think, oh, I have to have these degrees in order to do that. And I will say, absolutely not. You do not have to have degrees. I was always interested in the communication aspect. And it was ironically, more on a interpersonal level, like, us talking or small group talking. But I try to make it when I am speaking, even if it's in front of a large audience, I try to make it like it's an intimate conversation, like I'm talking to that one person. And you can do that in video or otherwise. But so I was interested in that back in my 20s of many, 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 many years ago. And I ended up becoming a public speaker when I was 40. So there was like this big few decades in between me going to college and learning how to do this and teaching at Cal State Fullerton to actually becoming a professional speaker. And it was an opportunity to speak about something I really, really believed in. I worked with a personal development company that helped people with their mindset and understanding our patterns and how do we have a better life. And I had had a lot of issues prior to that, which is what led me to that company as a client. And I knew how powerful that work could be. And when you're excited about something, when you're passionate about something, when you know whatever's going to help someone, whatever your message is can help someone else, it gets a lot easier to share it, in my opinion. Even if you're scared or nervous or doubting yourself, it all of a sudden, I say your message becomes bigger than your fear, right? It's like, oh, this could really help other people. So I started speaking because that was how they would invite people into the work. And my first year, I booked 83 speaking engagements in my local area. We live in Southern California, and people would constantly ask me how I did that. Meanwhile, I had also created the speaker network, kind of the one I was sharing about earlier, because I thought, so nice to have a community, just like what you've created here, Grace. Like, you have a community of like-minded people who want to help other people we're not competing. We're just like, it takes a village. It honestly just takes a village. You know, things are, when someone's up, they can help the other person that's down and so forth. And so it ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah.
So in creating that community, I found a lot of people asking me for support. Like, how did you get booked on that? What are you doing that's different?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really think it was that big of a deal at the time. I just kind of, you know, like when maybe how you've had experience in the past where you're really good at something, you just kind of head down, you're doing your thing. And then all of a sudden someone taps you and they're like, wait, I want to know how to do that thing that you're doing. And it took me a couple of years, honestly, to really embrace that and to think, oh, I guess there is something different that I'm doing and I can help people with this. And that's when my company was born. So, and now I help people who have like that message to deliver, really create a space for that. I had one of my early on clients had her son was killed when he was a child. And so her experience, we created a talk that would honor him, honor her experience, and help other parents through that other, you know, whatever experiences they were having. So again, grief is, it's unfortunately common. We're all going to go through it. We all do go through it. It shows up in different ways for different people.
There is a tendency to look at things like your service or someone writing a book as a business thing. But in reality, I'm looking at this as really an option for people who have gone through trauma.
Yeah.
Most of it is from not being able to let it out. So how can speaking be healing?
Yeah, I think alluding to what you were saying earlier in how we express ourselves, sometimes writing might be a first step. Speaking out loud, even to nobody, can be really powerful. Speaking, if you have a cat or a dog or a pet, you know, you can talk to them. So I wouldn't say that like speaking is just so many different ways you can do it. It doesn't mean you have to stand on stage with a microphone and share it with people or get on a Facebook Live or be really public about it. But to your point, Grace, it can be just formulating the words, expressing something like when we don't express our emotions, they live inside of us.
Yeah.
So speaking is a way that you can actually get it out, quote unquote. It doesn't mean it's never going to come back, but just a way to like release the air out of the balloon, if you will. And that might mean for me, I tend to write when I'm having a particular tough time. Writing helps me because I feel like it helps me stop ruminating, like, oh, if I should have said that, or if this happened or that happened. But when it's about a relationship with someone else or some, like a conflict or something, it definitely helps me to express it verbally in a safe way, like not just to everyone, to anyone at any time, but really like, who's that safe person